Gee whiz.
Hello, friends. My name is John Henderson, and welcome to a new series of old-time radio that I'm calling Gee Whiz. These are stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers. Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. So we're going to start with one of the very first episodes of The Aldrich Family. The Aldrich Family was based on a Broadway play that they turned into a movie called What a Life. In the movie, Henry Aldrich is played by Jackie Cooper. Now, Jackie Cooper was a child star, one of the most famous child stars. Like after Shirley Temple, it's Jackie Cooper. He started acting in The Little Rascals at age 7, and he played Henry Aldrich at age 17.
I bet it was George Bigelow that did it. That dirty...
I thought you and George had made up.
Made up?
Yes, didn't you tell him a lot of things at the counter before lunch?
I told him I ought to knock his block off for grabbing my pie. That's what I told him.
Oh. Listen, Henry, have you bought your tickets yet?
To what?
She means to the dance, Henry. Yeah, buy them from me, will you? They're only 60 cents.
60 cents a piece?
You think they're 60 cents a couple? Don't you know any girl that's worth 60 cents?
On the radio, Henry Aldrich is played by Ezra Stone. This episode is from 1939.
Henry Aldrich! Coming, Mother.
The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, written by Clifford Goldsmith, brought to you by Jell-O Pudding, those delicious new desserts all America's talking about. The Aldrich Family can be seen now in the current Paramount picture, What a Life. Don't miss it. And tonight, Betty Field, one of the stars of the picture, plays Barbara Pearson, Henry's current girlfriend. As usual on the air, the part of Henry Aldrich is played by Ezra Stone. In the living room of the Aldrich home, Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are talking. Henry is just coming in through the hall door.
Remember how worried we were a week ago?
Over Henry.
Over Henry. And that terrible Constance Marshall.
Who's he interested in this week?
He's coming back to Barbara Pearson.
Mother,
Yes, Henry?
may I ask you a question?
Yes?
Are you sure you won't mind if I ask it?
Well, no.
Could I have $3?
We're off.
Could I, please?
What for?
Well, I've got to get something, Mother, before it's gone.
Can't you tell me what it is?
Well, you'll just think it's foolish.
Then I'm afraid, dear, you cannot have the $3.
You mean you don't trust me?
Would you mind not standing directly in my light, Henry?
Oh, I'm sorry, Father.
Why don't you ask your father for it?
I know he wouldn't give it to me. Would you, Father? Would you?
Would I what?
Well, I'll tell you, this is all I want. This is all there is to it. Practically every guy I know that's got a girl has given her something to wear.
Henry, you mean the boys give their things to wear nowadays?
Oh, sure. It may sound a little strange, but I mean things like class pins. Only my class hasn't got a pin.
Oh, I thought you did give Barbara some kind of a pin.
I did, Mother, but she isn't crazy about it.
Why not?
Well, in the first place, all it says on it is vote the Democratic ticket. Would you like it if that was all somebody could afford to give you?
But the important thing is the sentiment behind it.
I know it. That's the trouble. Her father's a Republican.
A Republican?
Yeah.
Then I think you'd better stay away from their house in the future, Henry.
Father, this is no time to joke. Here's the position I'm in. I told Barbara, in fact, I practically promised her I'd give her a pin. You know, the one I saw downtown in a jewelry store.
Henry, dear, knowing Barbara Pearson as I do, I don't believe that what you give her is even slightly important.
But gee whiz, I thought you wanted me to take an interest in Barbara Pearson. I even promised her I'd never go inside Constance Marshall's house again. Wouldn't you like to encourage me?
Henry, you may not under any circumstances have any money.
I'm not asking for money, Mother.
You're not.
I've given that up.
When did you give it up?
Just now. This is all I want. Now, don't fly off the handle, Father. It isn't as bad as it's going to sound at first. You know that gold Phi Beta Kappa key you wear on your watch chain?
I do.
Well, do you wear that quite a little?
You mean to say you're going to ask me for it?
Well, don't you ever get tired of it and wish you could wear something else now and then?
In other words, you want to give Barbara Pearson my Phi Beta Kappa key.
You feel that strong about it?
After all.
Well, I'm just suggesting you loan it to her, Father, and you can go back to the vote the Democratic ticket pin.
Hi, Henry. Mind if I come in?
Come on in, Dizzy.
I want to speak to you alone, Henry.
Good evening, Dizzy.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich.
Good evening, Dizzy.
Henry, I've got to speak to you alone.
What about?
Just something.
Can't you tell him here, Dizzy?
Oh, this is in strict confidence, Mrs. Aldrich.
Well, I'm trying to get a decision about something, Dizzy.
Henry, if I were you, I'd go out and see what Dizzy wants.
Okay.
Come on out here in the hall, Henry.
It's private?
Wait till I tell you. Can anyone hear through that door?
No.
What are you doing tomorrow evening?
Why?
Well, hold on to something. How would you like a blind date?
A blind date?
Sure.
Me?
She's a dream, Henry. You never saw a prettier girl in your life.
Have you seen her?
No, but my girl has.
But I've got a date tomorrow night with Barbara Pearson.
Listen, Henry, you can see Barbara anytime, but this girl... Why, she's visiting my girl only a few days.
Oh, I see. Well, you see, Dizzy, I just got one misunderstanding straightened out with
Now,
Barbara.
if you don't help me out, I'm sunk.
Henry, what are you and Dizzy talking about out there in the hall?
Oh, nothing, Mother.
We were just discussing a problem I have, Mrs. Aldrich.
If you don't mind, I'll leave this door open. It's terribly close in the living room.
Well, let's go into the dining room. Don't you think you ought to get to know other girls? Do you want to stay in a rut?
That's what started the trouble I just got over.
Look, will this help? Supposing I get the girl on the telephone.
Why?
So you can sound her out.
No.
Then what can I do to convince her?
Well, have you got $3?
For what?
Well, just as a loan.
Listen, she's begging for a chance to meet you.
Meet me?
Sure.
Oh, how does she know about me?
If I remember correctly, she thinks she saw you on the street the other day.
Say, come to think, I wonder if she's the one I saw. Does she have a high black hat with a sort of a veil that...
Sure.
Is that right?
Who has a black hat and a veil?
Nobody, Father.
Well, would you mind talking so I either can hear you or so I can't?
Maybe we'd better go in the kitchen.
Okay.
Now do you see what's ahead of you, Henry?
The only thing
Let
is...
me call her up and ask her whether she's got a veil.
Do you have any way of raising $3, Dizzy?
I've got to pay you to meet a beautiful girl?
I promised Barbara that when I see her tomorrow night, I'll have a pin for her.
All right, you wait. You wait. Just you wait until sometimes you ask me to do something for you.
I'm sorry, Henry, but you'll both have to get out of this kitchen while I do some work here.
Where do we go now, Henry?
Let's go upstairs.
Your father just went upstairs, Henry.
Well, then let's
We
go up.
haven't been in the living room yet.
That's right. Come on, let's go in there.
Would you boys mind telling me what all this is about?
I'm trying to make Henry see the light, Mrs. Aldrich. Say, Henry, I've got an idea. I haven't got a pin you could give Barbara, but I've got a lady's ring.
Where'd you get it?
I found it. I found it in a trash pile.
Is it any good?
It's gold with a black stone and pearls.
And if I help you out tomorrow night, you'll give it to me?
Well, I won't give it to you, but I'll loan it to you. Say yes, Henry.
Well,
Shake and we'll make it a bargain.
no.
If I give you the ring outright, will you let me?
And I can tell Barbara to keep it?
Sure.
And it isn't going to cost me anything?
Not a cent. All we'll do is sit around in their house.
Something tells me, Dizzy, I shouldn't say yes.
And something tells you that you shouldn't say no, too, doesn't it? Remember that black hat with the veil?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, operator?
Number, please.
I want Elm 333. From now on, Henry, your lucky number is 3.
Are you calling 333?
Yes, ma'am. I wonder if she's doing anything tonight.
The only thing is, Dizzy, even if you do get this girl, you can't tell from her voice what she looks like.
Why not? All I've got to do is hear one word, and I can size up a girl in a minute.
Hello?
Oh, what was that?
Who do you want? Listen, if that's the girl you're trying to get for me, Dizzy, you can hang up.
Who is this speaking?
Mrs. Hopkins. Hang up,
It's
Dizzy.
my girl's aunt.
Oh.
Henry, what is going on here?
Nothing, Father.
Hello, this is Dizzy. Are the girls in?
Both of the girls are out.
Out?
Ask her whether her friend, your girlfriend's friend has a veil.
Does your niece have a veil?
If she hasn't, I'd like to know why. That girl has more pretty clothes than anybody I've ever seen. Is that right?
Mrs. Hopkins, you can tell her we'll be all set for tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Hopkins. Goodbye.
You boys find the veil?
Well, only in a way we did, Father.
Henry, could you walk to the door with me?
Sure.
All I want to say, Henry, if you don't want to, I'll take it.
Oh, no, you don't. I saw her first, didn't I? When do I get that ring?
I'll get it for you by noon tomorrow.
Well, why not before then?
I've got to get it from my girl.
From your girl?
Sure, she's wearing it.
She's wearing it?
Yeah, night, Henry.
Hey, Dizzy, I wonder whether Barbara will mind if she finds that out.
Grandmother.
What are you flying around so for?
This is the evening Henry's coming over.
You suppose you'll bring a box of candy? Where's the evening paper?
Right here.
Let me have the movie section.
Grandmother, will you promise me something?
What's it?
That you won't embarrass me by asking him whether he ever sees any other girls.
My goodness, don't you think you ought to know?
It makes it look as though I were worried.
Oh, yeah, you should be. Here's a picture I'd like to see. All right if I come in?
Hello, Henry.
I've only got a second, then I've got to be going.
So soon?
Hello, Henry.
Good evening, Mrs. Sanderson.
Did I hear you say, young man, you can't stay?
Well, something came up quite unexpectedly.
You don't say. How's Constance Marshall these days?
Oh, gee, haven't seen her for over a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to see Constance again.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll go out in the kitchen and make some candy.
The only reason why I have to go so soon is because I have an examination tomorrow, Barbara.
And what?
In geometry. By the way, I just happened to think I brought you something.
My section doesn't have any exam in geometry tomorrow.
You know? I wonder how you could account for a thing like that.
I wonder.
Oh, here's what I brought you.
What is it?
It's instead of a pin.
Henry, I hope you didn't go and get me something expensive.
Well, I just hope you'll like it.
Henry Aldrich, look at it. It's a ring.
Sure.
Oh, Henry, you shouldn't have bought anything like this.
Oh, I didn't pay much for it.
It's a little too large for that finger.
Well, try the next finger.
It's too large for that one.
Well, how about the next one?
It's still a little too big.
Do you suppose you could wear it on your thumb?
I know. I'll wear it on this chain around my neck.
Hey, you're making candy. Why don't we all go to the movies?
Tonight?
There's a picture called Man Crazy that I want to see.
But, Mrs. Sanderson, I've got a geometry exam coming.
I think you've got your schedule mixed, Henry.
I'm sure I have, and Dizzy has the same schedule I have.
Now, let me give you some advice, young man. I never studied geometry in my life. There isn't anything going on that I don't know about.
Well?
If it's money that's worrying you, the trick will be on me.
Oh, that isn't it. I've
Of
got...
course you want to go. Go get your coat on, Barbara, and we'll stop.
Grandmother, maybe Henry doesn't want to go.
Well, of course, I might be able to.
Do you want to call your parents and ask them?
Well, I don't think you need to.
If you want me to, I'll phone them.
Oh, no, you don't have to.
Now, who do you suppose that is? Stay where you are. I'll answer the door.
Do you think that you really could go with us, Henry?
Gee, I'd certainly like to, but if I don't get my studying done tonight, when will I?
Good evening, Mrs. Sanderson. Is Henry here?
He certainly is.
Is that you, Dizzy?
Hurry up, Henry. We're going to be late.
Late for where?
We'd planned to study together.
Study what?
Our geometry.
When?
Now, you dope, over at my house.
Oh, yeah.
You don't say so.
Didn't I tell you it wasn't tonight that you'd have to study, Henry?
Well, whether it is or not, Dizzy, I think you'll have to study without me.
Huh? Could I have a little conference with you out in the hall?
It isn't necessary to talk it over.
Speak to me in private? Barbara, that's a nice ring you're wearing around your neck.
Yes, you like it?
Let me see it.
It's gold.
Where did you get it?
Henry gave it to me.
Oh, is that right?
I'll go out in the hall with you, Dizzy.
Why don't we all stay here and study?
Well, I have to be alone when I study, Barbara.
That's why you got to be with Henry?
Are you sure you understand, Barbara?
Of course. If you tell me you have to study, you have to.
Sure.
It never occurred to me that I shouldn't understand.
Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't study too late, boys.
Oh, we won't, Mrs. Sanderson.
Hurry up, Henry. Connie's been waiting for us for 20 minutes.
Who has?
Constance Marshall. She's my girl now, you dope.
Since when?
Since you finished with her.
This is a fine time to tell me. I can't go over there. I promised Barbara I wouldn't see her anymore.
You're not seeing her. I'm seeing her. You just happen to be going over to her house.
No.
Do you want me to go back and ask Barbara for that ring?
I'd like to see you.
Oh, you don't think I'd do it, eh? I'll go right back into the house.
Wait, Dizzy, wait.
Are you going?
I'll stick by you. But something tells me I'm going to be sorry for as long as I live.
Henry and Dizzy are just going up the steps of Constance Marshall's house. For some reason or other, Henry doesn't look very cheerful.
Last, here we are.
Here we are.
43 High Street. Didn't I tell you 3 is your lucky number?
Hello, Dizzy.
Hiya, Connie.
Why, Henry Aldrich, I thought Connie wasn't ever going to see you again.
Hiya, Connie.
He got lonesome.
I got lonesome.
Well, come on in.
Where's...
Oh, of course. Just a minute and I'll call her. Gwendolyn! Gwendolyn!
Is that her name?
What do you have?
Dizzy, I'm going home.
Well, if it isn't Henry himself. And you're just as cute as I thought you'd be. Gwendolyn, that isn't Henry. That's Dizzy. You mean this one here is Henry?
Yes.
Well.
I'm sorry.
What are you putting down your hat for, Henry?
Well, I thought we were going to stay.
Oh, my goodness, what can we do here?
We're going out?
Don't you like to go out at night, Henry?
Sure he does, don't you, Henry?
We want to go to the movies.
In the movies?
Yeah, we want to see Man Crazy.
I know, but...
Come on, Gwendolyn, we'll get our things on. I better wear my coat in case we get some ice cream afterwards.
Dizzy, I haven't got enough money to take them out.
You don't have to pay for all of us. Just for yourself and Gwendolyn.
I know, but I haven't even enough for
I'll
that.
loan you some.
You told me this wouldn't cost anything. And did you take a look at Gwendolyn? One helping of ice cream isn't going to be enough for her.
Henry, cheer up. 25 years from now, you'll be able to look back and laugh at this.
Sure, 25 years from now, but this is tonight.
Henry, you're beginning to make me sorry I brought you.
But, Dizzy, she's not the girl I saw on the street. No wonder she wears a veil. What she should do is wear it in the house.
Now I am sorry.
Well, we're all ready, Dizzy. Gwendolyn, you leave Dizzy alone. Henry is your property.
I'm her property?
That's what I'll call you, my prop. Come on, prop. Let me take your arm.
The only thing is I promised my folks I'd be in early.
But you don't belong to them anymore. You belong to me. Look at the moon, Henry.
Yeah.
And look at those 3 stars right up over us.
Yeah.
Henry, didn't I tell you 3 is your lucky number?
Yeah.
Let's go down this street.
Dizzy, tell Connie something. Why did you want me to give back that ring?
Well, I had to do a favor for somebody.
You didn't give it to any other girl, did you?
No.
Say, look, Constance, here on the corner.
What is it?
A soda fountain.
Yeah? And boy, do they serve terrible sodas in there.
Well, their sundaes are good.
Look in the window there, Henry.
At what?
Those boxes of candy.
Well, don't you think we're going to be late for the first show?
Oh, we don't care whether we're late.
It looks like an awfully nice place inside.
Would you like to go in and get weighed?
Say, you can't get me on any scales.
Well, why don't we stop here after the show?
I never like to eat anything just before I go to bed.
Come on, Henry. We might as well go in and get it over with.
Both those roasted almonds smell good.
Don't they? Where shall we sit?
Let's take this table here by the candy counter.
Okay.
Good evening. What'll you have?
I'll have a chocolate marshmallow.
Same here.
Same here.
Make it 3 chocolate marshmallows and 1 glass of water.
Why, Henry, aren't you going to eat anything?
I'm in training.
Oh, isn't that too bad?
3 chocolate marshmallows and a glass of water.
Right.
You ought to change your mind, Henry. They're good here.
Are they?
Why, Henry, what are you worrying about?
Worried? Worried? Who's worried?
Say, Dizzy, let's go down there to the end of the store and look at those magazines.
Why do we have to look at those?
Oh, please, Dizzy, Izzy.
Oh,
I don't think you like me.
Well, I guess Connie and Henry are all alone.
I guess we are.
Nancy, you know things and going to a picture show if you don't take along something to eat.
Oh, Mother. Henry, that's Barbara Pearson and her grandmother.
Constance, would you understand if I should go?
And leave me at the table all alone?
Well, Henry Aldrich.
Good evening, Mrs. Sanderson.
Henry. How's your geometry?
Constance, I guess you know Mrs. Sanderson and Barbara, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Would you like to sit down here with us?
No, thank you, Henry Aldrich. I wouldn't even be slightly interested. Oh, you wouldn't you, Barbara? What is that you've got on that chain? That happens to be a ring, thank you. That happens to be my ring, thank you. So that's why he asked me for it.
I didn't ask you for it.
You needn't explain, Henry Aldrich. Take your hard ring.
But I don't want it. This whole thing is a mistake.
You take it or I'll throw it away.
Don't do anything foolish, young lady. That's gold.
What if it is? There.
Oh, my. Well, where did it go?
Henry Aldrich, I think you're contemptible.
Listen, Barbara, let me tell you.
No.
Or you can introduce me to your friends, Henry?
Gwendolyn, please, go away.
And what's more, Henry Aldrich, I think you're the meanest person that ever drew the life of breath.
The life of breath. The life of breath.
Where did that ring go?
What do I care? I'm going home.
You're going to let a thing like this spoil the movies for you?
Yes.
A life of breath. A life of breath. Say, who does she think she is?
Well, what I want to know is who Dizzy thinks he is. Giving my ring to that little snip.
Hardly. Here are your Sundays and here's your check.
Say, where is Dizzy?
When they came in, he left.
He left?
Yeah.
That'll be 45 cents. Would you like to pay for it now?
I'd like to, but I can't. This is a nice predicament. Yes, Mrs. Sanderson.
Oh, you're the last person in the world I expected to see tonight.
If Barbara hasn't gone to bed yet, could you tell her I'm here, please?
Well, I'll call her, but I don't think it'll do any good. Barbara? Barbara! She probably heard you.
Yes, Grandmother?
Come here a minute.
Where are you?
I'm in the front hall.
Well?
Hello, Barbara.
Oh.
All I want to do is tell you exactly what happened.
I know what happened.
Oh, but you don't.
Come on in out of the cold, Henry.
Oh, I don't think I'd better come in.
Come in. I won't let her hurt you.
Yes, ma'am.
No matter what you say, Henry, it won't do a bit of good.
Well, the only reason I didn't stay here with you in the first place, Barbara, was because I had a blind date night.
Blind date?
Oh, wait, you've only heard the beginning.
That's all I want to hear.
You've got to hear it all. That ring I gave you didn't even belong to me.
A beautiful sentiment, to say the least.
But wait. Now, wait a minute. It didn't belong to any girl. It belonged to Dizzy. He found it.
Where?
In a trash pile.
A trash pile. And that's what I was wearing around my neck?
Yeah, but I still haven't finished.
Well, from the progress you're making, young man, it may be just as well if you don't finish.
And if you'll excuse me, I'm going upstairs.
You don't want to hear the rest?
Of course I don't.
Gee whiz.
Oh, Henry Aldrich, you're a genius.
But she's so unreasonable. She won't even listen to me. Mrs. Sanderson, what would you do in a case like this?
You want me to tell you what I'd do?
Yeah.
Well, I'd stop trying to make things up, and I'd tell her what really did happen.
That's what I've been doing.
If that's the truth, then I'd start in with something she could believe.
You mean I should lie to her?
No, I'm not saying you should lie to her. But in this case, I certainly wouldn't tell her any more of the truth.
What should I do?
Now, let me tell you something, young man. And if you remember it, it's going to help you just as much as geometry ever will.
What is it?
No woman is going to believe what you want her to.
Oh, what is she going to believe?
What she wants to.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. At least that's the way it is with every woman I've ever known. And when I call Barbara down here again, don't try to push her into believing what you think she should think.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd rather not see her again.
No. Now, you wait for you. Barbara? Barbara!
There's no use in my trying anymore.
Has Henry gone, Grandmother?
What's that?
He has?
See what I mean? When I say they believe what they want to.
I hope I never see Henry Aldrich again for as long as I live.
You better be careful how you talk, young lady.
Up until this evening, I always thought he was the nicest boy I'd ever known, and then...
Hello?
Didn't I tell you to be careful?
You've got to listen, Barbara.
No.
But that wasn't really Dizzy's ring.
Now we have a new story.
But it wasn't really his.
Whose was it?
Well, that's something I can't tell you. I asked my mother...
It didn't ever belong to your mother, did it?
My mother?
Yes.
No.
Henry, it did. Why didn't you admit it in the first place?
Well, because I didn't want to...
Young man,
What?
don't make up any more stories.
He's not making this up, Grandmother.
How do you know?
Because, Henry, if it did belong to your mother, I'm sorry I threw the ring away.
You're?
Of course I am.
Well, here it is.
Grandmother.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll go up to bed.
I hope you sleep well, Mrs. Sanderson.
By the way, Henry Aldrich, the story's all right as far as it goes. Well, what were you doing, Constance Marshall?
With Constance Marshall? Do you want to know the truth?
Of course I do.
Well, that's easy to explain. We started out and...
You what?
Well, my father wanted me to study my geometry.
But you went to the soda fountain instead?
Well...
And that was where you ran into Constance?
Yeah.
Henry.
Sure.
Doesn't that just go to show you what a person's imagination can do?
I'll say.
Are you sure you didn't make that up about your father wanting you to study?
No.
You're positive? Because the whole thing sounds so simple, Henry.
Yes, Mrs. Sanderson?
Your father just phoned. He wants you to come right home and do your geometry.
He does? Well, what do you know about that?
Don't ever tell me anything but the truth again, Henry.
I'll say I won't.
That was an episode of The Aldrich Family from 1939. Next, we have an episode of Archie Andrews from September 11th, 1948. This episode's all about a flat tire, and in those days, the idea of lifting the car from the side, like at the bumper area, was relatively new. Before that, you had to go right to the center of the vehicle at the axle. This episode is from September 11th, 1948.
Away, Jughead. It's a matter of life or death.
Relax, Archie. Relax. Yes, here he is again, the youngster millions of readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well. Brought to you by Swift & Company, makers of Swift Premium Franks, Archie Andrews and all his gang. Tender beef, juicy pork, known from the West Coast to New York. Swift Premium Franks, Swift Premium Franks. For your guarantee of protection, Swift's Premium Franks now come to you cellophane wrapped in handy 1-pound packages. Made fresh daily in Swift kitchens from coast to coast, Swift's Premium Franks are then wrapped in the new handy sanitary Flavor Saver pack and brought to you at the very peak of their tantalizing flavor, with all their natural goodness sealed in. So, kids, tell your mom that you want Swift's Premium Franks. And, Mom, get some today. They're delicious. And you'll be glad to know that Swift's Premium Franks are economical. There's no waste to them. Every bite is all nourishment, all dinner-quality meat. Ask for them today. Swift's Premium Franks in the 1-pound cellophane package. And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's a sunny Sunday afternoon as we look in on the Andrews home, and we find Mr. Andrews in the living room, evidently getting a little impatient about something.
Oh, I don't. Mary!
Yes, dear?
What are you doing now?
Oh, Fred, I'll be there in a minute. I'm just putting my hat on.
Mary, you
Well, Dad, I'm all set to go.
Oh, yes, Archie. Mary, you
Well, day for a drive to Newton Center.
Yes, Archie. Mary,
But
you
do we have to visit Aunt Hattie on a nice day like this?
Yes, Archie, we do have to visit your Aunt Hattie, and please be quiet.
Okay, Dad, okay.
Okay. Mary, you said you were putting your hat on half an hour ago.
Oh, Fred, that hat didn't look right. I'm putting another one on.
Oh, great.
Gee whiz, Dad, why do we have to visit Aunt Hattie today? She doesn't even know we're coming.
Archie, it is immaterial whether Aunt Hattie knows we're coming or not. We haven't been over to Newton Center in some time, and we have to visit your Aunt Hattie once in a while, and we might as well take the drive on a nice Sunday afternoon like this, so just get used to the idea and stop complaining.
She was okay, Dad.
Well, Fred, I'm all set.
Well, about time. Come on, let's go.
All right.
We want to be home before dark. We'd better get started right now.
Fred, there's plenty of time. And if you thought of driving over to Aunt Hattie's earlier, we could have left earlier.
All right, dear, all right. But let's just get started. Oh, good grief. Look at that.
Look at what?
A flat tire.
Oh, for pity's sake. Fred Andrews, when did you do that?
Do that? Do that? Mary, I didn't do that. Flat tires have a way of happening all by themselves.
Gee, Dad, now we can stay home.
No, Archie would do no such thing.
Oh.
That tire can be changed in 5 minutes. Now, let's get busy and get it done.
Okay, Dad.
Fred, can I do anything to help?
No, dear, you just stay out of the way. Archie and I'll handle this in no time.
Oh, all right, dear.
Here, Archie. Here are the keys. Get the tools out of the trunk compartment.
Okay, Dad.
Oh, Archie.
Yes, Dad?
Be careful of the trunk door. There's something wrong with the supporting arm and it falls down.
Okay, Dad.
Now, get the bumper jack out first. That's it. Now, Archie, put the jack under the edge of the bumper and jack up the car.
Okay, Dad.
Now, just get some of these other tools out.
Boy, Dad, these bumper jacks are easier to set up than the old-fashioned ones where you have to get under the car, aren't they?
Archie, never mind the marvels of science. Just get to work.
I am. Gee whiz.
What happened?
Well, it went up a couple of notches and then slipped way down to the ground.
Well, you probably didn't have it on right. Try it again.
Okay, I'll put it back up.
Now, move the handle down slowly.
I am.
You see?
Yeah. Easy. There, you see, Dad, it doesn't work.
Oh, great. I never did trust these newfangled jacks.
Is something wrong, dear?
Yes, dear, something is wrong. This confounded bumper jack keeps slipping back.
Oh, dear. Oh, what'll we do?
Gee, Dad, now we can stay home.
Archie, we cannot.
Oh.
We'll have to get another jack someplace.
Oh, Fred, maybe we should call a garage and have them send someone out with another one.
And pay them an arm and a leg for the use of it? Nothing doing. We'll borrow one.
Borrow one?
Yes, Archie. You run over to Jughead's house right now. See if his father lends you the jack from their car.
Gee whiz. Okay, Dad.
Yeah, and hurry.
Dad, I'll be back before you can say Jack.
Oh, boy. Well, might as well get the other tools out of this trunk while I'm waiting.
Hey, look out for the trunk door. Look out!
Oh, my head. Oh.
Fred, don't you know that door falls down?
Oh, now she reminds me.
Gee, I hope Jug's father will lend us his jack. We sure picked a fine time to get a flat tire. Gee whiz, what's taking them so long to answer the door? Great. Nobody's home. Now, how do you like that? Just when I gotta borrow something very important, they're out. I never saw What was that? She was... It's Jughead sleeping on the porch swing.
Hetty, kiss me again.
Oh, great, he's dreaming. Jughead.
Come on, Hetty, give me a kiss.
Jughead, wake up.
Please, give me a kiss, Hetty.
Jughead, wake up.
Hetty, please, give me a kiss.
Jughead, don't.
Hetty, please,
Jug,
Hetty.
I don't.
Hetty.
Jug, Jughead! Oh, great. Now he's gone back to sleep. Jughead, wake up. Jughead!
Huh? What's the matter?
Jughead, will you wake up?
Where's Hetty?
There's no Hetty.
Gee, you mean I was dreaming?
You sure were, Jug, and you kissed me.
Gee, a nightmare.
Jug, don't be funny, and tell me what you're doing sleeping out here on the porch with nobody home.
I don't know. Just sleeping. My folks went to visit my Aunt Matilda, and I didn't want to go, so they left me home, and I fell asleep.
Well, I'm glad you did. Jug, I gotta borrow a jack.
A what?
An automobile jack. We got a flat tire.
Gee, my father had a flat tire last week, and boy, did we have trouble.
Jughead,
Boy, did we have trouble.
Jug, I don't have...
Boy, did we have trouble.
Jughead, I'm not interested in your trouble. I just want to borrow a jack.
That was our trouble. No jack.
Oh, fine.
Fred, how does your head feel now, dear?
Oh, rotten, but I guess I'll survive.
Oh, that was an awfully nasty wallop.
Yes, dear, I know. Let's just forget it. It'll be all right.
Freddie, you sure you don't want me to call the garage?
Mary, I do not. I can change a little flat tire by myself.
But if we're going to visit Harriet, I think
Mary,
we ought to
we'll get to Harriet's in plenty of time. If Archie ever gets back here with that jack. What the dickens is keeping him anyway?
Oh, he'll be back any minute, dear. But you better get the spare tire out while you're waiting.
Yeah, I guess I better.
I'll be in the house if you want.
Yes, dear. Fine thing. You go to get some tools out of the trunk, and I get conked on the head by the trunk door. I don't... Oh, good grief. Jughead.
Who'd you expect? Henry Ford?
No, Jughead, no. I was not expecting Henry Ford, nor you.
Gee whiz, where'd you get the bump on your head?
Well, Jughead,
it's almost as big as my Uncle Herman's nose.
Jug, you know...
And boy, that's big.
Jughead, will you keep your uncle's nose out of my business?
Gee whiz, okay.
Okay. What are you doing here, anyway? Archie just went over to your house to borrow a jack.
I know. And I didn't have one, so he went over to Betty's to borrow one.
Oh, fine.
But after he left, I looked out in the garage, and I found this old jack laying there.
Yeah, I might have known you. Found that old jack. Why, Jughead. That's wonderful. Terrific. Thank you, Jughead. Thank you.
Oh, that's okay.
Now I can go ahead and change that tire without waiting for Archie.
Yeah, but, Mr. Andrews, it's not a bumper jack. It's the old-fashioned kind that you have to put way under the car.
Oh, now, Jug, don't you worry. That doesn't matter the least bit. The old-fashioned kind work much better than the newfangled contraptions. Now, I'll just get down here under the car, put it in place.
But, Mr. Andrews,
right under the axle here.
Mr. Andrews,
you'll be all set.
Mr. Andrews,
Jughead, what is it?
You're wearing your best suit.
Well, naturally I'm wearing my... Oh, good grief, I forgot all about it. Jughead, have I gotten it dirty?
Well, not very. Just a little dirt on the pants and some grease on the jacket.
Oh, that's great. Ah, well, damage is done. I might as well finish the job now and change my suit later.
Yeah.
There. Jack's in place. Now, Jughead, give me the handle.
The what?
The handle to the jack. You can't work a jack without a handle.
Gee whiz.
I never found any handle. Mr. Andrews, what are you getting so red about? Gee whiz, I hope Betty's father has a jack we can borrow. This is a fine time to be running all over town to borrow things. Boy, I hope Betty's family is now, too. Oh, that'd be a fine thing. If she isn't home, I don't know
Why, Archie!
Hello, Betty. Gee whiz, what are you doing with that bowl?
Mixing a cake batter, and I have to keep stirring till it's just right.
Oh, well,
Haven't
Betty...
you ever seen anyone mix batter before?
Well, Betty,
It's very important to get it stirred just right.
Well, yes,
Not too thick and not too thin.
Well, yes,
Not too flat, not too lumpy.
Yes, but Betty...
Did you know that?
Well,
Would you like to taste the batter?
No, Betty,
Or would you rather wait and taste the cake?
Well,
I guess you better wait. The cake's always better than the batter.
But, Betty,
Golly, Archie, you're not saying very much. Is something wrong?
Betty, nothing is wrong, but when I came over to... Betty, do you have to keep stirring that thing?
Yes, Archie. If I stop now, it's ruined.
Oh, great. Well, Betty, what I came over to ask is, do you happen to have... Oh, fine.
Oh, golly, the phone.
Yeah, the phone.
Archie, hold this mixing bowl while I answer it.
But, Betty,
and
I don't...
keep stirring.
Oh.
Hello? Archie, stir.
I am.
Hello? Oh, Agatha, how are you?
Oh.
Good. Me? I'm fine. What, you got a new dress? Oh, Agatha, how wonderful. Tell me all about it. Archie, stir.
I am.
Hello, Agatha. You were saying about your new dress. What's it like? It is?
Oh.
It does? It has?
Oh, great, Betty, would you...
What else, Agatha? Oh, you don't say. Archie, stir.
I am. I'm going stir crazy.
But, Agatha, how long is the skirt? It is? It was? It will be?
Oh, fine, Betty, I'm in a hurry.
Agatha, you come over and show it to me tonight. You would? You can?
Oh.
You will? Oh, that's wonderful, Agatha. See you tonight. Bye.
Oh, well, I'm glad that's over.
Archie, stir.
Betty, I am stirring. But can I get a word in now?
Of course, Archie. What is it?
Well, I came over to ask if you have a jack I could borrow.
A what?
A jack, an automobile jack. You know, for changing tires.
Oh, a jack. Well, golly, Archie Andrews, we probably do have a jack, but I wouldn't lend it to you if we did.
Huh?
Not if you were the last boy on earth.
But, Betty,
now, give me my cake batter and go on home.
Oh, Betty, I'm...
Very idea.
Oh, Betty, quit pushing. I'm going. But would you mind telling me why you're mad at me?
Of course I'll tell you. You just ruined my cake batter by too much stirring.
Oh, no.
Well, Archie sure has his troubles trying to borrow a jack. But trouble is one thing you won't have at mealtime if you serve Swift's Premium Franks, for it takes just 7 minutes for these plump, juicy Franks to simmer, and then they're ready to serve, ready to be enjoyed by all. So for a quick, easy-to-fix meal, ask for Swift's Premium Franks. Now remember that name, Swift's Premium Franks, for these are the Franks of all dinner quality meat. Yes, each mouth-watering bite of Swift's Premium Franks is a flavorful blend of tender beef and juicy pork, all dinner quality meat. And to make sure that each luscious link reaches you at the peak of its flavor, every pound of Swift's Premium Franks is wrapped in a cellophane Flavor Saver pack that seals in all the natural goodness of these high-quality Franks. What's more, Swift's Premium Franks are made fresh daily in Swift kitchens from coast to coast. So whenever or wherever you buy them, you know they're fresh. Ask for them today. Fresh, flavorful Swift's Premium Franks. The Franks of all dinner quality meat. And now back to the Andrews. While Archie is still hunting down an auto jack so his father can change the flat tire on the Andrews car and the Andrews can get started on their visit to Aunt Harriet, Dad is having his share of troubles at home.
Gee, I'm awful sorry about that jack handle, Mr. Andrews. I never even stopped to think you'd need one.
Oh, Jughead, let's just forget the whole thing. I'll just wait till Archie gets home and then...
What happened?
Oh, nothing serious, Mary, nothing serious. I just crawled into the car with that tire jack Jughead brought over, got my suit all full of grease and dirt, then found out Jughead never brought a handle for the jack.
Oh, well, Fred, why don't you let me call the garage and have them send out a
Mary,
jack?
nothing doing. I'll change that tire myself if it kills me. And at the rate I'm going, it might. But I'm still
Oh, now, who can that be? Hello, Mrs. Andrews. Betty. Hi, Jack. Hello, Mr. Andrews.
Hello, Betty. Jughead, I thought you said Archie went over to Betty's house to borrow a jack.
Oh, he did, Mr. Andrews. But I got mad at him and wouldn't give it to him. But then after he left, I was sorry I lost my temper, so I brought the jack over.
You did? Why, Betty, that's fine, dear. That's wonderful. That's... Betty, where is the jack?
I left it out at the car.
Oh, well, come on. I'll go down there and change that tire right away.
But, Fred, aren't you going to wash?
Might as well wait till I finish with the tire, dear. Well, Betty, I'm really glad you didn't stay mad at Archie.
I am, too.
I am, too.
However, the first thing I'll have to do is get under that car again and take Jughead's tire jack out of there.
Jughead's tire jack?
Yeah, I brought a jack, but we can't use it.
It'll just take me a second to get this one out.
Oh, golly, you're getting awfully dirty under there, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, it doesn't matter. My suit's all dirty anyway. Here, Jug, take this jack.
Okay, I got it.
All right. Now, Betty, hand me your jack.
Here you are, Mr. Andrews. Got it?
Yep, I got it. Betty.
Yes?
Is this the jack you brought?
Uh-huh. Is there something wrong with it?
Betty, I hate to disillusion you, but this jack happens to be a crank.
A crank?
Gee whiz.
Yes, Betty, a crank.
Oh, golly, can you change a tire with it?
No, Betty. You cannot change a tire with it. A crank is made for starting motors.
Oh, well, I'm so glad it's good for something.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad I crawled under this car again so you can hand me a crank. Here, take it back and I'll come out.
I have it.
All right, now Oh, that's funny.
Was something wrong, Mr. Andrews?
I don't know, Betty. I got under this car of mine all right, but I don't seem to be able to get back out.
Golly.
Gee whiz.
See, I'm stuck. What's holding me?
Looks like your rear end.
What?
Your shoulder's stuck under the rear end.
Oh. Well, how am I going to get out?
Well, Mr. Andrews, the only way is to crawl forward. It looks higher up front.
Oh, good grief. I guess I'll have to.
Oh, that's it, Mr. Andrews. Look out for that big pipe.
I see it. I see it.
Watch that hook.
No, what hook? No.
That hook.
Oh, good grief. What ripped?
Probably the rear end again.
Oh, great. First I dirtied my suit, now I ripped my pants. Oh, how do I get into these things?
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Andrews. You're almost out now.
Yeah, come on, help me up, Betty.
Take my hand, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's nice to be out in the open again. What I want to know is how come I was able to crawl under that car with no trouble at all, then all of a sudden the car was too low for me to Jughead.
Huh?
Jughead, how long have you been sitting on that bumper?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, since right after you crawled under the... Is that what made the car too low?
Yes, Jughead, that's exactly what made the car... Mary, look, the fewer questions you ask, the better. I am going inside and throw this best suit of mine into the rag bag. And, Mary, would you call the garage and tell them to send out a jack, please?
Gee whiz, if I don't find a jack someplace soon, Dad's going to be ripping mad. I sure hope Veronica's got one. I wouldn't want to...
Hello, Archie. Hi, y'all, Archie-kin. It's awful nice to see y'all, Archie. Dear. Come in, Archie.
Gee, thanks, Veronica, but I can't stay out.
But, Archie, I want to ask you about tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Uh-huh. I thought we'd take a nice long drive out to the lake.
Gee.
And park underneath the moon.
Gee.
And then you'll put your arms around me.
Gee.
And hold me tight. Gee. And then you know what you'll say?
Uh-huh.
What?
Good morning.
Goodbye, dear. Huh?
We're going out now. All right, Mother, bye. Now, where were we, Archie?
Gee, I don't know, Veronica. Oh, yes. Veronica, there's something I gotta ask you.
Yes, Archie?
Does your father have a jack I could borrow?
A jack? An automobile jack?
Uh-huh.
Well, of course he does, Archie. A very fine one.
Oh, that's swell.
But you
that's
see,
terrific.
But there's
I've
only
been looking everywhere for a jack.
But, Archie, I'm trying to tell you. Mother and Father just went out for a long drive, and they've got the jack in the car.
Well, Fred, I'm glad you finally decided to be sensible about it. I'll go call the garage right now, and they'll send someone out here to do the job right away.
Yes, dear. Now, Jughead, I'm going in to change suits, but while we're waiting for the garage man, you and Betty try to get the hubcap off that flat tire and get the lugs loose. It'll save some time.
Okay, Mr. Andrews.
And when Archie gets back here, you tell him I want to see him.
Yes, Mr. Andrews?
Gee, Mr. Andrews looks a little mad about something.
I guess he is. But let's get that hubcap off like Mr. Andrews said, Jug.
Okay. I'll get a hammer and screwdriver out of the trunk compartment. Oh, here's a hammer, but I don't see any screwdriver.
Well, what's that back there behind the spare tire, Jug?
Well, that might be a screwdriver. I'll crawl in and see.
Is it?
Yeah, but it's stuck back here. Hey, what happened?
Golly, the trunk door slammed shut. Oh, Jug, did it hurt you?
No, it missed me, but open up.
Oh, I will, Jug. Golly, it's locked.
What?
I said the trunk is locked.
Betty, don't get technical. Just open the door.
Jughead, I can't without the keys.
Oh, just the keys.
Well, I called the garage. Betty, what are you doing?
Jughead's locked in the trunk.
Oh, all right, for a minute.
Who's locked in the trunk? Jughead.
Oh, for pity's sake. Jughead, how'd you get locked in the trunk?
That's what I want to know. Get me out.
Oh, do you have the keys, Mrs. Andrews?
No, but I'll get them from Mr. Andrews and Oh, dear.
Oh, what is it?
Archie must still have them. He opened the trunk in the first place.
Archie?
Yes.
But Mrs. Andrews, Jughead could suffocate in there before Archie gets back here.
Oh, dear. What'll we do?
Oh, we'll have a trunk murder on our hands.
Yes, and that's no way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, golly, Mrs. Andrews, do something.
Oh, Betty, there's only one thing to do.
Oh, what's that?
Let me out.
Jug, be quiet for a minute. Betty, go look in the garage for a hammer.
A hammer?
Yes, there's a big sledgehammer out there. And the only way we'll get Jughead out in time is to smash the trunk open.
But Mrs. Andrews.
Betty, don't argue now. There's no time. Get the hammer.
Okay, Mrs. Andrews, I will.
Jug, we'll have you out in a minute. Now be quiet.
Well, did the man from the garage get here yet?
No, Fred, but something awful's happened. I want to tell
the
you.
Andrews house?
Oh, here's the garage man now.
Yes, sirree. Here I am. Jack's the name.
Good. What did you say?
I said my name's Jack. Didn't somebody here send for Jack?
Oh, dear. I asked them to send a Jack, an automobile Jack, not a man named Jack.
Oh, great. Mary,
Hammer, Mrs. Andrews. Oh, is it heavy?
Betty, we don't want a hammer. What we
Betty,
want
quick,
is
give it to me.
You mean nobody sent for me?
Mister, would you please... Mary, what are you doing?
Oh, Fred, I have to get Jughead out.
Out? Out of where?
He's locked in the trunk.
Now, Betty, how did he get in there?
Crawled in.
Betty,
What's going on here anyway?
Mary, you're wrecking my car.
Oh, Fred, it's either your car or Jughead.
I'll take my car.
Harder, Mrs. Andrews.
Betty, Look, Mary, will you... Quiet. Quiet. Jughead, you be quiet, too.
Gee whiz, what's going on?
Jughead's locked in the trunk, and we can't get him out till you get back. Now, as I was saying... no! Oh, good grief, Archie. Quick, unlock the trunk and get Jughead out.
Gee whiz, what's he doing in there anyway?
Archie, don't ask questions now.
Let me out. Okay, Jug, okay. There, Jug, you're out. But I still can't see anything.
Jughead, it might help if you open your eyes.
Gee, I forgot. Hello.
Hello. Now, listen to me, all of you. This nonsense has gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
Yes, dear.
Yes, Dad.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
All I want to do is take a drive over to Newton Center and visit Aunt Harriet. And by George, I'm still going to visit Aunt Harriet, and right now. So, Mr. Garage Man, whatever your name is.
The name's Jack.
All right. Jack, can you change this tire or not?
Well, sure, but it'll cost you $5.
$5 to change a tire?
Sure, this is just like towing in a wreck. My time's worth money, you know.
Oh, great. All right, I'll pay the $5. Just get the tire changed.
Okay, I got a jack right in the service car. Take me a minute to fix it.
There, that settles that. Now, Mary...
For pity's sake, Fred, look.
Look at what?
Look at who just got out of that other car. Aunt Harriet.
Aunt Harriet?
Gee, wish she came to visit us. Now,
Tender deep in the port, north from the west coast to New York. Swift premium franks.
Friends, you really know what you're getting when you ask for Swift's Premium Franks. Made fresh daily in Swift kitchens from coast to coast, so you know they're fresh. Made by Swift, so you know they're top quality. Ask for them today. Swift's Premium Franks in the new handy 1-pound cellophane package. And while you're at your dealers, be sure to ask for Swift's Brookfield sausage, the sausage with the just right seasoning. And don't forget that your dealer has a tempting variety of Swift's premium table-ready meats. Delicious bologna is being featured this week, and you'll find it to be a surefire hit in lunchbox sandwiches, after-school snacks, and late-evening spreads. And remember, Swift's premium bologna is economical because it's all meat. No bones, no waste. Always keep some on hand for quick, easy-to-fix meals. For a meal in a flash that saves plenty of cash, get Swift's Premium Table-Ready Meats. And now back to the Andrews. It's several hours later. The garage man has fixed Mr. Andrews' tire, Dad has paid the bill, and Aunt Harriet has had a pleasant visit with them and is just getting ready to leave.
Well, Aunt Harriet, it certainly was nice to see you.
Yes, sure was, Aunt Harriet.
Well, I enjoyed seeing you folks, too. But I'd better run along now. I want to get home before dark.
Yes, driving after dark isn't easy.
No, it isn't. Oh, good heavens.
Oh, what's the matter?
My car. It has a flat tire.
Oh, no!
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jantel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie was played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Uhrman and Arthur Cole. Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. Jack the Garage Man was John Gibson. This program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next Saturday when Swift & Company, makers of Swift's Premium Franks, brings you more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Bob Sherry wishing you all a very pleasant weekend. So long. Swift & Company invite you to stay tuned for Meet the Meeks, which will be heard immediately over most of these stations.
That episode of Archie was from 1948. Now we've got one more episode of The Aldrich Family. In this episode, they mention a series of youth fiction books by Gilbert Pattern. They were written late 1800s, early 1900s. The novels cost 10 cents and were about the adventures of a young athlete named Frank Merriwell, who excelled at pretty much every sport. He even had his own radio show.
You coaches are all alike. Why, with Merriwell and his pal Hodge on the team, I'd bet on Yale anytime.
Thanks, Mr. Cook, but the coach is right about the team. We'll really have to play over our heads Saturday to beat Central.
How about it, gang? Can you do it?
Pick up your favorite dime novel and enjoy the show.
Family, oh, the big red letters stand for the Jello family. That's Jello, yum, yum, yum. Jello puddings, yum, yum, yum. Jello tots, the yolk of puddings, yes, sirree.
And now for the Aldrich family. Somebody once said, when trouble comes, it never rains but that it pours. But with Henry Aldrich, it's just one long deluge.
boy, Homer. Wait till you see it.
Henry, I don't want to be late for school.
No, don't worry. It's right on the way.
Listen, Henry, if it's such a bargain, how come nobody's grabbed it all?
Well, gee whiz, Homer, not everybody can use a motor scooter.
And you're sure they're giving it away?
Well, not exactly giving it, but it's almost the same thing. There it is, Homer.
Where?
There. Can't you see the sign? Used cars. Get a square deal from Chris O'Neill.
But where's the scooter?
There, right under the sign.
Boy, Henry, boy.
You like him, huh?
And how? But show me where it says they're giving it away.
Can't you read, Homer? Hanging from the handlebars.
Special. Name your own price.
You know what, Homer? I think I'll go in and buy it right now.
Henry, look at the time. We have to be at school in 3.5 minutes.
Homer, how long will it take me to go in and buy that scooter at my own price?
Boy, Henry, you're forgetting about Miss Eggleston. Let's go.
Forget it, Homer. Her bark is worse than her bite.
I don't know, Henry. She's never tried to bite me, but her bark is bad enough. Hurry up.
Good morning, Henry. Good morning, Homer.
Good morning, Miss Eggleston.
A noble effort, but I think you were just a little late.
Oh, I don't like to disagree with you, Miss Eggleston, but we weren't...
Now, I'll be here when the bell rings, because if anybody needs ancient history, it's you two. Oh, by the way, class, the Emporium department store is running a quiz contest for students. I'm sure you're all thrilled at the prospect. Is anyone interested? I'm overwhelmed at your response. All right, class. Now, today we're going to talk about the development of commerce in Carthage and its threat to the Roman Empire. I hope you'll find it interesting, Henry.
Oh, I'm sure I will, Miss Eggleston.
Thank you. Although at first glance it would seem that the mighty Roman nation...
What if somebody buys the scooter before we can get back?
Boy, that would be a dirty trick.
Homer, you know what? Why? I'm going down during lunch hour and buy it.
Lunch hour? Okay, Henry, I'll go with you.
Homer Brown, Henry Aldrich, stand up.
Yes, Miss Eggleston.
Yes, Miss Eggleston.
May I ask why you were whispering?
We didn't want to disturb the class.
That's very commendable. Now, would you mind paying a little attention to ancient history? I know it's a very dull subject, and it's not very important, and that it really means nothing, and you shouldn't even have to learn it here in school.
Oh, gee whiz, Miss Eggleston, that isn't your fault.
Sit down, both of you.
Yes, Miss Eggleston.
Yes, Miss Eggleston.
Henry, I'm going to see if you've been getting anything out of these classes. Am I safe in assuming that you've heard of Rome?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And am I safe in further assuming that you know Rome was at war with Gaul?
Yes, Miss Eggleston.
Well, can you tell me the date of that war?
Date? Well, gee, I have a wonderful memory for faces, but I just can't remember dates at all.
Henry Aldrich, I want to see you during lunch hour.
You do? Lunch hour? Even though I planned on something else?
You may take 15 minutes to eat and then report here.
15 minutes? Well, what about my indigestion? Homer, look, there's the scooter. They haven't sold it yet. Boy.
Now, listen, Henry, be smart. Don't let them know you want it. Pretend we're interested in something else. Then they won't raise the price.
You're absolutely right. Shh. Here comes the salesman.
Hello, boys. Can I do anything for you? My name is Randall.
Oh, we're just looking around, Mr. Randall.
Well, we've got the best buys in town. Do you have anything special in mind?
Oh, and how much is that dump truck over there?
A dump truck? What in the world would you want with a dump truck?
Well, for picnics.
Now, if you want something in a nice, sporty job, how about this little convertible? Leather upholstery, automatic top, radio...
Oh, Henry, look. A scooter.
Where?
Over there.
Well, gee whiz.
It belonged to an elderly school teacher who only drove it on weekends.
The scooter?
No, the convertible. Say, what are you boys interested in anyway, the convertible or the scooter?
Well, I don't know. This scooter kind of caught my eye.
Me too.
Oh? Well, you're in luck, boys. You can get that scooter today for practically nothing.
Well, gee, Henry, the price is right.
Sure. We're having a special on it. You can have it at your own price. $25.
Yeah, $25? Gee, that wasn't my price.
$25?
What did you have in mind?
$2.40.
$2.40? Why, you couldn't buy the seat for that.
Okay, Mr. Randall, you can keep the seat.
I tell you what, you can have it for $20.
20?
Well, my mind isn't closed. Would you care to make a counter offer?
Yes, sir. $2.40.
$2. Boys, we're willing to take a loss on this, but I tell you what, you can have it for $15, but that's the rock bottom price.
Henry, what are you going to do?
Mr. Randall, would you be willing to consider a financial arrangement?
Buy it on time? How much of a down payment could you make?
The exact figure?
Yes.
$2.40.
Boys, here's another idea. Why don't you leave a deposit and take the scooter home? Keep it a day, and maybe your father will buy it for you.
Gee, thanks. That's swell.
How much of a deposit can you leave?
$2.40.
$2.40. Now, look.
Homer, do you have any money?
Well, I have $1, but I...
Oh, let me have it, Homer.
Okay, Henry, okay. Here you are. You're lucky, Mr. Randall. I usually don't carry this much with me.
Well, this will do. Now, remember, boys, you can have it for one day.
Oh, boy, Homer. Are we going to go home in style?
Oh, you bet. Will the guys be surprised when they see us whizzing down the street?
Boy, will we ever pass them up on their old bike?
Yeah.
Okay, Homer, get on. I'll sit here in the back. You can drive.
Me? Henry, I don't know how to drive a scooter.
Homer, you don't?
No.
Neither do I.
Well, it can't be much to it. It probably starts the same way as a motorcycle.
Oh, sure. Do you know how to start a motorcycle?
No.
Let's see. Don't you step on this thing?
You almost had it, Henry. Try it again.
Okay.
Maybe this button starts something. I guess not.
Anyway, the motor sure sounds good. Now, wait a minute, Homer. I think I've got it. First, you give her plenty of gas, then you choke it a little, then you step on this thing.
Boy, Henry, it took us twice as long to get home with the scooter.
No, Homer, we won't always have to push it. Come on, I want my father to see it. Father! Mother! Father! Mother!
Goodness, Henry, what's the matter? Is anything wrong?
What is it, Henry?
Oh, you're on the front lawn. Look, do you see anything?
I certainly do. Who in the world left that pile of junk on our lawn?
What? Father, it's a scooter and it's mine.
Dear, where did you get it?
I bought it on approval.
Approval? Whose?
Yours, Father. I was hoping you could see your way clear to advance me something on my allowance.
Well, I don't know, Henry. I'd like you to learn the value of money. When I was a boy, I always made a point to save something every week out of my allowance.
You did? What did you do with the money you saved, Father?
Why, I got married.
Frankly, Father, I'd rather have the scooter.
Never mind, Alice. I'll get it.
Don't worry, Henry. I'll talk to your father.
Boy, Homer, did you hear that? I can have the scooter.
But, Henry, all your mother said was she talked to your father.
I can't explain it, Homer, but all my mother has to do is just keep on talking, and somehow she always gets my father to see her point of view.
She does?
Sure. What happens when your mother talks to your father?
He goes out to the garage and starts pounding nails.
Come on, Homer, let's go for a ride.
You don't even know how to start it.
Well, let's see if we've tried everything. Gas, choke, release emergency. Boy, are we dope.
What, Hen?
We didn't have the ignition turned on. Oh, boy, there it is. I got it going. I'm riding, Homer, I'm riding.
Keep going, Henry.
Boy, is this swell.
Hey, Henry, how about me? We're partners, you know. I've got $1 invested.
Okay, Homer, you can go next.
Henry, look out for that tree.
Okay, Homer. Homer, I can't stop.
Put on the brakes.
Where is it?
Steer, jump off. Henry, are you hurt?
Never mind about me. What happened to the scooter?
Look at it.
Gosh, Homer. What a wreck.
Here's the part that still works.
like hide the pieces in the garage before my father sees
Here,
it.
you grab an armful and I'll take an armful.
Okay, come on. Let's lug it over into the garage.
Henry, won't your father see it if we put it in there?
No, he always parks the car in the driveway. There. Oh, boy, what am I going to tell him? Coming!
Always here, Henry.
Yes, Father?
Henry, that was Miss Eggleston on the phone.
It was, Father?
You can forget all about me buying that scooter until your ancient history improves.
Yes, Father, but... Father, would it be all right if I bought it out of my allowance, though?
I'm also cutting off your allowance until you catch up in your studies.
Even though I have debts to pay, legal obligations?
That's all I have to say, Henry. You can convince me of your sincerity by doing better in your schoolwork.
Gee whiz.
Hey, Henry.
Come here,
I
Homer.
heard what your father told you. What are you going to do?
All I know is, Homer, are we in trouble?
We? How did I get in there?
Well, didn't you say you wanted to be a partner?
Well, sure, Henry.
Believe me, Homer, it's legal. You asked and I accepted. It's a contract. Ask any lawyer.
Oh, boy, Henry, you get me in the darndest trouble.
Look, Homer, old pal, all we need is $11.60. Now, why didn't you ask your father?
I will not. Absolutely no, Henry. You know my father. I wouldn't dare ask him. Father, can I speak to you a minute?
What is it, Homer?
I'd like to ask you an embarrassing question.
Well,
Can I have $11.60?
I'll give you an answer which causes me no embarrassment. No.
Oh, gee whiz, Father, don't you even want to hear what it's for?
Frankly, no. What is it for?
Well, you see, Henry and I want to buy this motor scooter.
A motor scooter? A used one?
Yes, sir. Quite a bit.
I'm afraid not. Accidents happen with scooters.
They do, Father.
I can't imagine why you want a scooter, Homer. Now, I could understand it if it was a new bicycle.
I can have a new bicycle?
No.
But, Father...
Ladies, have you ever wondered why we recommend that you keep several Jell-O flavors on hand instead of buying just one at a time? Every way to get the package with the big red letters, J-E-L-L-O. Your grocer has Canada's red letter dessert.
And now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. The scene opens in the Aldrich living room.
Put your paper down, Sam. Sam? Dear,
What is it, darling?
I want to talk to you about Henry.
Before I fortified myself with breakfast?
Sam,
All right.
why isn't Henry more like some of the other boys at school?
What boys?
Well, there's Christopher Demuse. He's an outstanding student.
Alice, the boy that plays the piccolo?
Sam.
There's nothing wrong with Henry. He'll straighten himself out.
If he'd only take a real interest in his studies. If I could only get him to make a game of it. That's how Rosalind Burke got her two girls to enter the quiz contest at the Emporium. Then why couldn't I do that with Henry?
You think you can get Henry to enter the quiz contest by pretending it's a game?
Sam, at least I can call it to his attention.
Good morning, Mother. Good morning, Father.
Good morning. How do you feel, dear?
Fine, Mother. Father, could I ask you a legal question?
If you'll make it short, Henry. I always dislike giving free legal advice.
Suppose A is driving something belonging to B.
His car?
Yes, sir. Could be. And A has an accident and ruins the scooter, the car. What could happen to A if he can't pay for the damages?
Does A have a driver's license?
No, sir. He doesn't even have a car. I mean, no, sir.
Then A is in serious trouble. Not only can B have A jailed for the non-settlement of a legal debt with a judgment obtained in court, but the police can press criminal charges against A. I wouldn't even recommend a lawyer for A. Nothing can help him.
I see. You don't think the law may have been changed since you went to school, huh?
It's not likely, Henry.
Look, Henry, the Emporium department store is running a quiz contest. They've got a big ad in the paper. Oh, it should be a lot of fun.
Yes, Mother.
It's like a game. They ask you all sorts of questions.
Yes, Mother.
Dear, put it in your pocket. You can look at it later if you're interested.
Hi. Boy, Homer, did I just get some bad news.
Mr. Henry, were you able to... Don't you feel well? Gee, are you pale?
Yeah. Must be prison pallor setting in.
Did you get the money from Mr. Randall?
Not yet. And I just found out that unless we pay, we can go to prison for years.
I keep telling you, Henry, I had nothing to do with it.
Apparently you don't realize that you're an accessory after the fact.
Henry, that doesn't make sense.
It's not supposed to make sense. It's legal talk.
Henry, will you get that on in the kitchen?
All right, Mother. Just a minute, Homer. Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Henry Aldrich?
This is he talking.
This is Mr. Randall, Henry.
It is?
What about the scooter? Do you want to buy it?
Yes, Mr. Randall, but I don't have the money right this minute. I'll be happy to give you my personal IOU, though.
Well, that won't be necessary as long as you're going to buy it. Your father is good for it.
Oh, sure.
Tell me, how does it run? Is the motor missing?
Oh, no, I know just where it is. Yeah, sure. Every single piece.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, I'm keeping it in the garage where it's safe.
Oh, that's fine. Then I'll hear from you soon?
Yes, sir, you will. I can almost promise.
Henry, where are we going to get the money from Mr. Randall?
Homer, I'm afraid we're going to have to do something desperate.
What, Henry?
Tell Mr. Randall and my father the truth.
You wish you don't have to go overboard. Maybe something will happen.
Homer, what could happen?
Well, we might get a job or inherit some money or win a prize on a quiz show.
A quiz show? Where's that newspaper ad my mother gave? Here, Homer, look at this.
Henry, that's just an ad for that silly quiz show at the Emporium.
Look at what they're giving away for prizes. Any contestant who correctly answers 2 out of 3 questions will receive a prize of $15.
$15? Still, I don't know.
Homer, it's a cinch. When you get up on the stage, you're allowed to pick any category you like, if it hasn't already been taken, right?
So what?
Well, what's the easiest category here?
Let's see. Sport.
That's right. And what's the hardest one?
You know what it is, Henry. Ancient history.
Well, nobody in his right mind would ever pick ancient history, so I'll take that. And if you're down at the library studying.
Ancient history?
Why not? Lots of people learn it. He's studying. At the library studying.
You really think you can learn ancient history?
Why not? Lots of people learn it. Look at Miss Eggleston.
She didn't learn it, Henry. She was there when it happened.
More coffee, Sam?
Thank you, Alice.
Sam, do you know that Henry was up at 6 o'clock this morning reading?
Perfectly normal, Alice. I did it myself when I was Henry's age. I just couldn't get enough of Frank Merriwell.
Only with Henry, it's Nebuchadnezzar.
It amounts to the same thing. They all have their boyhood heroes.
Sam, don't you realize Henry's been studying?
Henry? Studying? Alice, I don't believe it.
Good morning, Mother. Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Henry.
Good morning. Sit down, dear. I'll have your breakfast in a moment.
Oh, thank you, Mother. I just had a glass of milk and a couple of cookies in the kitchen.
Henry, really, you must...
Well, I have to get to school early this morning. Homer and I are going to spend a little time in the library.
The library?
Yes, Father. If you have no objection.
None at all, Henry.
Dear, don't work too hard.
Oh, I'm all right, Mother.
Alice, now I've seen everything.
All right, class. All right, quiet. Now, yesterday we were talking about the athletes of ancient Greece. What were some of the sports in which they excelled? Well, I see an unfamiliar hand. Homer Brown.
One of the most popular Greek sports was throwing the discus. The modern record is 181 feet 6 3/8 inches, held by Adolfo Consolini of Italy. He established his record.
That is enough, Homer.
1940.
Let's return to ancient Greece with the rest of the class, shall we?
Yes, Miss Eggleston.
Now, many of the famous athletes of their day were engaged in the Second Peloponnesian War, which took place in
431 B.C.
Henry Aldrich, you will answer only... What did you say, Henry?
431 B.C.
But that's right. Well, I know this is silly, but
Henry, who was the outstanding figure of that war?
Heracles.
Good heavens. Henry Aldrich, tell me one more thing.
Sure.
When did the Second Peloponnesian War end?
421 BC.
Well, I have been teaching for 23 years, and in all that time, this is the most wonderful thing that has happened. If it were in my power, I'd give the entire class a holiday. Now, Henry, tell me, when did... No, I better not disturb the miracle.
Well, folks, this has been an exciting quiz show so far. The first 6 contestants were all girls, and each of them was able to answer 2 out of 3 questions correctly and win a $15 prize. In fact, there have been no losers so far. We have left only 2 contestants, both boys, Homer Brown and Henry Aldrich. I'm sure they're not going to let the girls beat them. No, sirree. Now, the 2 categories left are ancient history and sports.
Boy, Homer, it sure worked out perfect, didn't it?
And how, Henry? This is a sin.
Sure.
The next contestant will be Homer Brown. He has his choice of 2 categories, sports and ancient history.
Now, don't forget, Homer, I'm taking ancient history. Do you hear? Homer, do you hear?
Sure I hear, Henry. You said I'll take ancient history.
Homer Brown picks ancient history.
Why?
Boy, Homer.
Homer, you must be a whiz in ancient history to pass up sports.
Well, I never...
Why, this'll probably be duck soup for you.
Please, I would like to...
Oh, you'd like to get started, huh? All right, Homer, here's your first one. Was Julius Caesar a Roman or a Greek?
He's got to be one or the other.
That's right.
Did he ever throw the discus?
Well, I'm sure I don't know. He probably did.
Then he was a Greek.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. No, Julius Caesar was a Roman. Now, for your next question. Who, according to legend, fiddled while Rome burned?
See, I don't know much about music.
All right. Here's a question in ancient history, Homer. He was a Roman.
A Roman? Julius Caesar?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong again. You've missed 2 out of 3, and I'm afraid you've lost your chance to win a $15 prize. Better luck next time, Homer Brown. And now for our last contestant, Henry Aldrich, who takes the last category, sports. Now, here's your first question, Henry. In the year 1926, there were only 2 left-handed batters who hit over 350. One of them threw right hand. Can you tell me the name of the other player?
Would you mind repeating the question?
Oh, not at all. In the year 1926, there were only 2 left-handed batters who hit over 350. One of them threw right hand. Can you tell me the name of the other player?
Would you mind repeating the question just once more?
What's the good of sitting here on the front porch? Let's go in the house.
Boy, Homer, did you mess things up?
Me? You got me into this, Henry. I was an unwilling victim. Besides all the aggravation and loss of sleep I've had, it's already cost me $1 in cash.
Look, Homer, if you hadn't been so dumb...
there you are, Henry. I've been looking for you. I want to talk to you.
You do, Father?
Henry, I saw Mr. Randall yesterday.
Father, please remember that there are 2 sides to every story.
I saw him because Miss Eggleston called and told me how well you've been doing in ancient history. Henry, I'm proud of you.
Well, Father, what has ancient history got to do with Mr. Randall?
Well, your mother and I were so pleased that I went to Mr. Randall, and I bought you the scooter you wanted.
Thank you very much, Father.
But I'm sorry, Henry, to tell you this. I don't know how it happened, but backing the car into the garage, I ran over the scooter. And I'm afraid I smashed it up quite a bit.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Father! But, Father, really, to tell you
I
the
don't
truth...
try to take the blame. It was entirely my fault.
Oh, that's all right, Father.
Fortunately, Mr. Randall carried insurance. He has the scooter, and it's being repaired right now.
Boy, Henry. And this time, find out where the brake is before you ride it.
Homer.
And, Henry, I'm glad that from now on, you'll be able to ride to the library.
Library? Gosh, Father, what would I be doing in a library? Good evening, Miss Eggleston.
Well, Henry Aldrich and Homer. Well, this is a surprise. Come right in.
Oh, no, thank you, Miss Eggleston. We just came to extend an invitation to you.
An invitation? Well, how nice.
Well, gee, it's the least we can do after the swell way you call out my family about my schoolwork.
So, Miss Eggleston, we hereby cordially invite you to be our very first guest, to take a ride on Henry's new scooter.
Well, really?
Well, really is right. But here's really the kind of invitation that folks will snap up. That's an invitation to dinner with Jell-O for dessert. Serve your family and friends delicious Jell-O often. They're sure to like it. You have 7 flavors to choose from: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, lime, or pineapple. Each flavor tastes just like the real ripe fruit itself. For every Jell-O flavor is locked in by a special Jell-O process, sealed right in so it can't until you're ready to use it.